This episode has been brought to you by Manscaped. The new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Go to manscaped.com, use the code GULCH20 for 20% off plus free shipping today. This week on the Heart of the Gulch YouTube show, we sit down with Ellis Ishee, president of Black Tie Moving Co. In our Walk the Line episode, we watch Black Tie relocate furniture from a storage unit and do a full install in a Nashville high-rise. Let's check out the episode. We are in the Heart of the Gulch. I'm your host, Tony Mendoza, and today I'm very excited. When we talk about Nashville and companies in Nashville, Tennessee, there's one company when we think about moving, and you've probably seen them on the show a few times if you watch a few Walk the Lines. We got the one and only Black Tie Moving Co. We got Ellis Ishee in the building. What's going on?
So good to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me over.
Dude, first of all, thank you for taking the time. Sorry that we were running a little late, but when it comes to musicians, you know that a lot of people are on musician time.
15 minutes, man. There's the rules.
I don't understand why.
Because they can.
That's a good point. And we just have to be the ones that have to deal with it.
That's right.
Well, first of all, welcome to the Heart of the Gulch that isn't in the Heart of the Gulch, as weird as that is.
Yeah.
Real quick, Ellis, I want to know a little bit about you, man, and talk to me about like your story. We were talking before the cameras were rolling. Big LSU fan.
Huge.
Baton Rouge is originally home?
Baton Rouge is home. Good Cajun food, good Cajun vibes. Yeah. Just a good people vibe. Everybody gets together. Everybody loves everybody down there. We eat well. We party well. Don't sleep so well, but it's a great place.
One piece of home-cooked meal that you don't get here in Nashville.
Etouffee.
Ooh, what is that? I haven't had that.
Yeah, it's crawfish etouffee. It's a rice, roux, crawfish tails, tomatoes, yeah, a little bit of love thrown into it. It's
Do you go back home often or no?
I go back for games from time to time. I have family still down there, so buddies that I go see. So yeah.
How long have you been here in Nashville?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about seeing some amazing things, and I'm guessing all with Black Tie?
No, actually 5 years with Black Tie, 5 years with another company.
That's absolutely incredible because we talk about y'all's location is basically this whole right side of the United States going down to Texas where I'm from. And man, when I've seen the growth that Dustin Black did, it's absolutely incredible.
He's a great entrepreneur. He has a great vision. And yeah, our mission today is to do the best we can for everybody in the area you just mentioned, but we want to move west too. So we can talk about that at some other time. Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely get to it, but kind of bringing it down to why would someone choose Black Tie Moving Co? Why would you say someone would call you over? There's pods. I just saw a pod the other day. You name the place. There's so many different moving companies, but why specifically Black Tie?
That's a great question. We are a big company, so we have big company ability to be competitive with everything we do. Price, great people, great leadership, but every one of our locations is individually run by locals. So I like to say that we're a big company with a local flair. If you do business in Nashville, it's everybody that's grown up in Nashville. We know the community. We participate in the community. We donate to the community, and that's everywhere. So if you want a local business with big company ability, that's us.
And speaking of kind of moving out west a little bit, I saw that is y'all's headquarters still in Nashville or is it in Dallas now?
Yeah, it used to be in Dallas. And about 9 years ago, Dustin came over to Memphis and Memphis over into the Nashville area. And corporate office is actually at my office in Brentwood, Tennessee now.
Man, you got to drive.
Yeah.
Hopefully that drive's not too crazy from home,
No, 840, it's easy.
Well, you got, so you brought it up, right? So when we talk about, that white glove experience, that's something that I've noticed. We do a segment on the show called Walk the Line where we kind of see the day in the life of some folks. And we had a business who was interior design and who was helping the entire run of show there was Black Tie Moving Company. And it was really cool to see how detailed every single person was when moving furniture into this apartment. And I'll put a little link at the bottom for you guys to check out the episode, because everyone that's running in there outside of me and the interior designer is Black Tie Moving Co. And y'all did a kick-ass job.
Thanks, man. I mean, that's the goal. Anything less it's not good enough.
Would you say, so kind of going back to y'all's motto, right? To y'all's spirit of making sure that everyone gets that black, white glove experience. Where did that originally come from?
It came from Dustin this is before he got into the moving industry. He was moving in Dallas, and he contracted a local moving company, had a terrible experience. And it really took him down a thought process of, hey, look, we can do this better. I can do this better. Mm-hmm. And, he took it and launched it from there. Mm-hmm. So.
Is it something where, like, give me some of the challenges that we're not going to say any names from any other companies, but, some challenges that other moving companies do not, take detail in?
Man, it starts with the estimate process. And if you're moving and you want to call in and get a free estimate, we have to do a really, really good job in the industry of asking questions. And I don't mean the questions that you want to give us, the natural, what's the inventory, what's the rooms. I'm talking about the additional questions, right? The expert type of questions, such as, what's the thing that scares you the most about your move? What's the thing that's most important to you about your move, right? Mm-hmm. What's the thing that really keeps you up at night? What's something that we can do to make sure that we take this off your plate? And if you think about the buying process, and I always say this in the consultation world, you meet with an agent, you find a home, and you're on an emotional high. You begin to picture yourself in that home. You begin to plan in your head that home. Mm-hmm. And you walk out of that home, you sign your purchase agreement. Well, there's a lull that hits at some point because you realize you have to move. Yeah. It doesn't move itself.
It actually adds so much more stress to it.
It does. And that lull, I mean, it can drop you pretty low, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because you're busy, I'm busy, we have families, we have friends, we have jobs, and you don't have time to pack. You don't have time to load up everything. You're not trying to throw your back out, etc. And so the way I see that is we come in and we keep that emotional high by asking those additional questions. And I can't jump those emotional hurdles for you if we don't ask questions about what they may be. So I think it starts there, and then world-class training on the operational side. I mean, we take a lot of time with our movers to training them, not just how to pad wrap, but how to engage customers, how to manage the conflict side of it. If there's concerns during the move or there's a pivot that we need to make, our movers are trained to make those pivots and make them seamlessly. So.
Well, I love that. That was awesome how you were able to put it all together. And when you were talking about that moving process, one of the things that you were naming off every single thing that goes in people's minds, because you moved, I moved, right? First off, you got to tell the people in your life that you're moving.
Yeah.
So you have that high, but also that sadness. But that, if you have a lot of friends in the area, my gosh, that could take so much time.
Yeah.
Weeks to tell everyone that you're moving. And then after that, you have to think about the new location, the place that you're moving to. What's that process going to be like? And then you're thinking about, oh, snap, I forgot that I have all this stuff in this house that I have to find a way to relocate. You're absolutely right. You hit it on the head because there's just so many nuances before the move even happens.
Yeah.
What was some of the things when you were moving for the first time, right? So take me back to when you were going to your first location. Right? What was the one thing that you didn't realize was going to be an issue until you're in that moment?
Friends don't help friends move. I mean, am I right?
True. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, pizza, drinks, that doesn't cut it anymore.
No, it doesn't.
And by the way, you don't want to take that call either, right? With your buddy asking you to move on a weekend.
Why are you putting it on me like that?
I mean, it's not going to be on me.
You put the mirror right up to me.
But, I ended up moving myself because a lot of people didn't show up on my first move. So that's a big one to me.
That's actually what made me not. So you saw the little car that I have in the front. My dream is to always have a truck, but my worst nightmare is to have a truck.
Yeah.
And it's because I use all my buddies. Shout out to all my friends that have helped me move, utilize their truck. And it comes with that. With great power comes great responsibilities with the truck, because the person with the truck is usually always the person helping people move.
Absolutely.
Now, talk to me about, Black Tie and how you guys have so many different types of moving machines, right? Moving vehicles.
We do. We have mini vans that if we need to get up a slope, we know how Brentwood, Franklin, Leapers Fork. So we have those little mini vans that can get up. We have the 26-foot box trucks, which is the majority of our fleet. We have smaller 16-foot trucks if we go into these smaller neighborhoods or even some into these metropolis, Boston, New York areas. So yeah, we try to be versatile because our customers are versatile.
100%. And then also, speaking of all those things, I'm thinking about my time back when I worked for the company before here. Man, to operate vehicles in a fleet, that costs so much money. And the problems that go behind everything from Blue Death to having every tire checked and the brakes checked. I mean, talk to me about some challenges along the way of kind of making sure the fleets are going to their location. How many times do you have to move people in a single weekend?
Oh man, I mean, so I'll answer the first question. We have great partners that help us with our preventative maintenance, and we have very solid standard operating procedures in line that our operations managers follow meticulously that allows them to check it's like the military, right?
100%.
We go in, we do PMCSs, then that's preventative maintenance checks. We have maintenance partners that if something's caught, that come right out to us. They fix those things for us. We have lease agreements where we can substitute trucks if we need to. So there's a lot of logistical moving parts, right? And that's where our amazing operations team comes into play. I can't give them enough kudos.
You know I'm going to give them an applause.
Got to, man, because they're on the grounds. They're the ones in the boots, strapped up, making it happen every day.
With a smile on their face, though. That's the thing.
Always. Yeah. Always. Yeah. And the second part of your question, what was that again?
So the question that I had is, in one weekend across the United States, how big is your fleet moving around, moving things? Do you know the number?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be sitting around 300 to 400 moves on a given weekend during our busy season, and it spikes above and beyond that. I mean, you think about it. We're in Dallas. I mean, we're in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. We're in Columbus, Ohio. We're even moving people into your neck of the woods in the Texas A&M area, right? I mean, we're moving everywhere, and so people think of us as, hey, you're in Brentwood. You do Brentwood, Franklin moves. I mean, those trucks leave Brentwood, but they can end up in Miami Beach, right? So we're on the roads everywhere.
How challenging is that? Because we were just talking about the logistics of moving, right? And there are those competitions like pods, right? Where I don't even know how many people touch a pod and relocate a pod. But when you're talking about having a fleet of vehicles, a fleet taking you from, let's just use example like Colorado, right? From Nashville to Colorado. I mean, you would think that it's so challenging to have a company go with, it's daunting, in other words, right? So talk to me about the folks that look at moving as a daunting experience.
Well, they look at it as a daunting experience because they think of it in physical manners first, and then it's the whole timing process of when do I get my inventory? Is it going to be put in a new home safely? I mean, no damages to the new home, to the old home. Is it going to be where I need it to be? Can they unpack for me and help from because the most valuable thing to people is time.
100%.
And that's all of us, because it's the only thing we don't get back. It's the only thing we can't buy back. And so black tie moving saves time. I mean, we move inventory, but what we really do is that we give time to people. And that's the way I look at my role, is making sure that whether it's on the sales side of things or it's on the operational side of things, that we're giving customers time with family, time with their jobs. And so when you think about daunting, I look at it a little differently. We do what's called expedited moving, and that's unique in the moving industry. And I'll give you an example. If I'm moving you to Colorado or I'm moving you to Miami Beach, and I'm another company, I'm going to stop many times along the way. I may switch drivers. I may switch moving crew that doesn't have a lot of information about the load. And that's going to take a lot of times, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. That's time. It goes back to what I said earlier. So, we're getting inventory there, but if we're somebody different, maybe I've not given you time back. We do expedited. So if the crew that shook your hand, the crew that gets in the truck, the crew that spoke to you about what was important to you about your move, they're the same crew that 4 or 5 days later, not 4 weeks later, they're loading into your new home, and they're unpacking you, and they're putting you, your bed where it needs to be. They're assembling your bed, putting together the items in the shed that you need put together. So it goes back to same crew, same experience. We give you back time.
I love that. Well, speaking of saving some time, I gotta take a pause in the video, thank the sponsors of this video, and we'll be right back right after this. This episode has been brought to you by Manscaped. The new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Go to manscaped.com, use the code GULCH20 for 20% off plus free shipping today. Word travels fast. And if you're not being, forthright and having that sense of integrity, not only as a person, but also as a business, people hear about you really quickly.
Yeah.
And one thing that I love about your company is that there are so many people in Nashville that utilize your company to where it earns trust.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're not perfect. No business is perfect. And I think you have to embrace that concept first. And I think you have to learn to know when to say, hey, we messed up, or hey, here's how we're going to fix the issue. Or here's a challenge ahead of us that we didn't anticipate, and here's how we're going to get around it, and take good partners in doing that. Mm-hmm. And I think if you have to be right all the time, or there's a procedure that you have to follow to the letter, and you're not able to flex and pivot, mm-hmm. you're going to struggle as a company. So I think that's number one. Number two is that we do have great partners. We have great real estate agent partners. We have great legacy with interior designers, with pods organizations, you name it. I mean, we have great partners. So when we do run into challenges, we have partners we can lean on, and they lean on us to get through it. Number two, and the last thing, communication, man. I mean, it is king. I think you build trust just like you do in relationships and life through mm-hmm. great communication. And for us, it starts at the consultation, that estimate process, where we're very honest and upfront. It's great communication with the driver and the crew lead the day of your move. It's great communication with our even our claims department. If something gets scratched that we need to repair for somebody, if we're communicating honestly mm-hmm. and in a timely manner based on the customer's needs, customers are forgiven. I mean, I'm a customer. You're a customer.
Absolutely.
And if you go into a store somewhere and they don't get it right, and they're apologetic and they're solution oriented, you're not, I know you're not going to push back on them, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's just about being real. And when you're real in a real community like Nashville or Dallas or anywhere else, people respect that. And respect turns into trust.
I love that. And you're absolutely right. Actually, I think about me and the girlfriend were just downtown, and we went to a restaurant and a steakhouse, believe it or not. And we went into the steakhouse. She accidentally dropped her drink, right? The guy just made the drink, dropped the drink, fell on the ground in a steakhouse. So it's quiet.
Yeah.
And that looks kind of bad because you dropped a drink, but it was her first drink. And when I tell you that I was I was so inspired by the team around that helped out. They did everything. We didn't have to move. Literally, they got on their hands and knees and washed the floor. And it was all inspiring. And that's that kind of service. That's that white glove type of service. And that's what really differentiates so many people, because maybe the drink wasn't the best. But I'll tell you one thing. I'll go back to that steakhouse because I know that's how well I was treated.
We want to be treated well. And I'll tell you, with social media platforms, we could go into the AI side of things with all the avenues that we have as consumers to follow up and find things out before we ever give our money or business to somebody. Man, businesses have to get it right, and you have to be trustworthy. And I think if 97, 98% of the time, if you're nailing it, you're hitting those home runs with your customer. The other times when you dribble that ball over to the right side and you've got to pivot and fix something, customers understand it. They get it. So totally agree.
We were talking about your role, right? And shout out to you for making president. That's sick. Man, I can only imagine in my lifetime, if I ever had a president title within a company, I would just pinch myself. But what's your favorite part of the role?
To me, so thank you. But to me, it's not about a title. It truly isn't. Dustin and I work very closely together. He's the CEO. He knows he could call me whatever. In all honesty, I've been doing this type of leadership work for about 30 plus years. And it really is about the people. And I'm not trying to be cheesy or cliched. I've seen our workers buy their first car, their first home. I've seen them get married. I've been in their weddings in some cases. I've seen them overcome challenges. I've seen them grow their careers at Black Tie. To me, my role is about empowering and preparing people to do better in their lives. And when you can do that, again, people will go to the end of the earth for you because they know that everything you ask of them, you're doing it with the intent of helping them progress, right? So I'm a people leader. I'm not a moving leader. I'm a people leader.
Yeah. And, you know, I want to go deeper into that real quick because being in an ex-corporate role, I know what it's like to start out as a part-time employee and then work my way to a part where I wasn't a manager, but I was not far off from a manager. So in this corporate environment where it was a huge multi-million, billion-dollar, the guy's a billionaire who made it, right? It's I never understood how different work must be, even at a top, you know, almost a manager position to being president, how different your roles become, how different you have to look at things. So when in your position, how much are you focusing on the big scale, the grand scale versus the day-to-day scale?
It's a great question. So in a executive role, I'm gonna back up. If you're in a part-time or in an entry-level role, even entry-level management role, man, you're looking at things from service level, right? You're not 5,000 feet up. You're on the ground, boots strapped up. And so your perspective of things really changes. And your day-to-day thought process is get things done today, get things done this week. The more you grow your role, just kind of picture a drone lifting you up. You're getting to see things from 5,000, 10,000, 30,000 feet up. So you're getting to see a bigger scope of the business. In an executive role, I need to be thinking not just about 2025. If I'm doing my job right, I'm looking at 26, 27, 28, 29. And so I'm more in the planning, forecasting of how do we grow the business, how do we grow the customer experience from services that we're offering, right? So it's not just about doors opening up, it's about new services. And so that's really my weekly job. And so, but you cannot forget that the moment you stop putting your boots on and lacing them up and staying connected to the people on the ground, none of what I just explained matters. I mean, you have to stay connected to your people. It's no different than any other role on planet Earth. And I go back to the military days is, if you lose connectivity with the troops or you lose connectivity with the movers, you lose their hearts. And when you lose their hearts, you lose their minds. And then you can't deliver the experience that you're working so hard to deliver. That
was really well said. And not to always bring it back because I'm so interested because, being 33 years old, working for my own self now, right? It's so interesting to me to know where does your mindset change, whether it's in when you were first starting on another company, right? When did you start visualizing that aspect, right? Where you're seeing the grand picture, you're able to not only visualize being boots on the ground, but you have to do your job to also motivate, plan ahead. I mean, does that come with just age or where does that come from?
If you're saying I'm old, you're right. I am old.
What are you talking about? We both go to the gym. You look amazing,
Thanks,
by the way.
Man, so do you.
Man, I'm trying to look like you when I grew up.
Yes, sir. Well, so that's a great question, actually. The first part of my career, I just wanted to climb the ladder. I was an individual contributor.
Same.
Right? And at some point, you get promoted and you get put in charge of people. And you begin to do less of commanding and directing, and you do more teaching. And I think when your mind switch can change from pointing to teaching, then you begin to understand the influential side of leadership, right? There's the strategic, there's the tactical side of leadership. And that strategic side of leadership has a lot to do with influential leadership. I can't get you to do what I need you to do if you don't understand why you have to do it, why it's important. And I think if you teach people why you want to do things so that their heart and their mind buys into it, then now you're influencing their thought process. And when you can influence thought process, and it's got to be real, it can't be fake, then that's kind of when my mind shifted, at least.
For the person that's watching this right now, maybe they're in an entry-level role. Let's just use any company, right? What could they do today to have at least develop the mindset of someone who's a president of a company?
It doesn't matter your role. Leadership's not assigned to a title. I mean, I've worked for people with great titles that were not leaders. And I've worked next to people that had no title that were amazing leaders. So if you're in an entry level position, you still have leadership decisions every day. I mean, how do you impact the customer experience? How do you impact coworker experiences? Right? Are you a leader amongst your peers? Right? I mean, do you make the
100%.
tough decisions? Do you go out on the limb? Are you pivot? Are you flexible?
Do you wake up on time?
Do you get to work on time? Do you wake up on time? Do you look the part? Do you dress the part? Do you have to do things extra because people are asking, or are you doing it because it's the right thing to do? And it just, you're right, it's attitude. So again, to that person, leadership's never attached to a title. That's just the biggest lie in the business world in general.
Wow. First off, that was well said. It's almost, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little nervous talking to you right now because a lot of people that sit in that chair right there, a lot of them are musicians. It's not every day that I get, whether it's an owner or someone that has a larger scope and understanding, they have a lot of moving pieces underneath them, right? So it's so interesting to me because the business world, and we'll move it towards black tie in a second, but it's a little intimidating because you are such a strategic person. I can tell just from having this conversation. So, but the way you also communicate is so well spoken. It's so well put together that it's very intimidating for me because sometimes I don't think before I say,
That's all of us. And I'm just quite honestly, I'm just a poor boy from Mississippi that grew up with nothing and literally just learned through great leaders how to serve and how to stay humble and how to remember where I came from. Right. And so at the end of the day, we're all on the same mission in life, man. We're trying to be happy. We're trying to do the right thing by people. And I think if you just keep that mentality, it doesn't matter what dollar signs attached to your check or title attached to your name. Right.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of leadership, talk to me about Dustin a little bit.
Man.
So what's it like to work for him?
It's amazing. I mean, he's one of the most unique individuals I've ever worked with. And he's got the heart of a lion. And I mean that in two ways. One is he is so entrepreneurial minded. I mean, he is not scared to do anything as long as he thinks it's going to benefit the customer, one. And we've tried a lot of things, and a lot of things have worked well, and a lot of things we've learned from. But he's also got the heart in helping people. I've seen so many cases where just in private, where nobody would ever know that he's leaned in and helped individuals in the community, whether it be helping them secure employment or helping them in an endeavor or helping a business grow, where he's just jumped in. And he doesn't come across that way. He comes across as very high energy. He's a musician himself. So he's very much an entertainer. But on that backside, there's a really, really great man there that's leading our company.
What's very interesting to me is that a lot of times creatives, I'm going to put myself in charge here too, because as a creative, I have a terrible time going from making a little bit of money with a sponsorship and then trying to turn it into a business. So for Dustin to be able to have a really creative side, but then have a business backbone to, employ so many people in the community and across the United States, that's a testament to him because I haven't figured that out yet. I don't even understand how people who are creative are able to make it a thriving business with so many relationships in there. And, from behind the scenes, how have you seen him kind of take this creative side, but also have backbone in business and, generate revenue?
Another great question. I think entrepreneurs are known for their great ideas, and they have tons of great ideas. But really smart entrepreneurs like Dustin know that they have to surround themselves with people that know how to get that done too. It's the whole operational tactical side that we talked about earlier. And so Dustin's done a really good job of surrounding himself with people that he can trust and people that really can take those ideas and say, you know what, I can create a standard operating procedure for that. And I know the nuances, I know the steps, I know the timeline that's required to make your dream, your vision become a reality. So again, it's about taking great partners. And even if you've got a great idea as an entrepreneur, and you say, man, I want to launch this, I want to see it be successful, I want to impact people and in lives. Well, that's the fun part of it, right? Mm-hmm. The other side is the part I just explained.
Well, speaking of impacting the community, talk to me a little bit about how Black Tie actually impacts the community, not only in Nashville, but outside of the Tennessee area.
One thing that we're super proud of, and I'll touch Nashville really quick and then I'll go bigger scope, is that we donate to our police departments in this area. I mean, we believe and we trust and we know the hard work that goes into what our law enforcement and our first responders do. And we're a sponsor of a camp here locally that helps kids that are not quite privileged like some other children, and they get to go to summer camp every summer. So that's one thing that we're super proud of. Mm-hmm. Another thing that we do that we're very proud of is we work with the Hope Lodge, with the American Cancer Society. And whether that be volunteering our time to flip burgers, mm-hmm. And that's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing that. But it's also helping them make sure they're securing funds. So when patients come in and their families and stay at these lodges, that they have the things they need, so they don't have to worry about those ancillary things. They can just worry about fighting for their life.
Well, that's very much on trend because, just relocating someone, like you said, you're giving them time to spend with their family, to spend with, not having to think of all the logistics behind it. So that's very much on trend with the business.
Absolutely.
Now, a little bit of experience from my end and how I heard of you guys. Obviously, I talked about, having guests on the show. One of the great friends of ours is Gary Ashton. Yeah. Love Gary. And then we have Matt Burrell, who is part of Raised Rowdy, which you guys do such a great job of sponsoring Raised Rowdy and the rounds there. I'm curious, have you been to a round yet?
Been to several rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt's a great guy. We love being a part of that. And it's a lot of fun.
It's just so cool to see how much you guys are entrenched in the music world. And I'm going to bring that. I think you know where I'm going to go with this. So with some high profile celebrities that you've helped relocate, can you give me a couple, name drop a few of them or so?
Yeah. I mean, we've moved Riley Green, just wrapped that up. Lainey Wilson, we've moved her recently. We've moved a lot. I mean, a lot of big names that trust us, and we take care of their most prized possessions, which is usually music equipment and things such as that.
That's actually kind of dive deeper into that. Like when it comes to musicians and high profile musicians, I would assume they would have a lot of expensive hardware and musical equipment. And what's y'all's technique to make sure that everything is moved appropriately and soundly so nothing happens along the way?
Yeah, so a lot of it's just asking great questions up front and understanding things such as, what can be pad wrapped, what needs to be crated, the whole things that aren't so much fun about the moving part of
then a lot of people will have to buy if they don't use it.
Absolutely. And so it's about the preparatory work going into the move that we've got to be really on top of, so that when we show up day of move, it's more of a seamless load, lockdown, transport, unload, place it where it needs to go.
What is usually the toughest place? Think about all the scenarios that's going on across the country right now with black tie. What is one of the tougher moves? Is it in the business sector? Is it in the residential sector? Is it in the smaller residential sector, like the third, fifth floor of a apartment building? What's the toughest move?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's probably the high rise, where you have to schedule the freight elevator. You know how that goes. And then, you got to hope that sticks as was scheduled, and making sure that we take time, right? We want to protect the inventory to go up and down that freight elevator. So from a timing standpoint, I would say that's the most difficult. Of course, we love our hills and our mountains in Middle Tennessee. So, and we know that some of our communities are on, some of these homes are way up. And so we have very narrow driveways. And so, logistically, from a fleet standpoint, those can be challenged, but we're experts in that area, so we know what we're doing. It's just not quite as easy.
It's absolutely insane to think that you have to book out a freight elevator and then make sure that the vehicles and everything is in that freight. I forgot that freight elevators and high rises, that you have to schedule being there so you can get all this to happen.
The timing has to be impeccable.
That's absolutely insane. I didn't think about that, because I was over here thinking that the toughest move would actually be business.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, businesses, you think about a business, it's the desk, it's the computers, it's pretty standard.
Times like 10 though.
Times 10, times 20. So from, if you talk about how long a move takes, businesses can take a while, right? But as far as knowing what to do, getting in there, people, things not being in the way so we can execute it quickly, businesses are not as difficult.
Now, how would you, identify your team members? What are the qualities that you will see in a typical, Black Tie Moving Co. person that comes to folks' houses every day?
When I speak to anybody that wants to work at Black Tie, I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't really care about their background as it relates to the moving experience. I want to speak to people who love people. And secondly, I want to speak and work with people who don't mind being coached. And, we all say we don't want to be, we love coaching, we love change, we love, criticism. No, we don't. But most people that we bring aboard, right, that I take a risk on are people who say, hey, Ellis, if there's something I need to do better, let me know and help me become better. Or if operations managers are training or coaching them, they're open to that feedback, right? Mm-hmm. But they have to love people. If you don't like and love people, man, you cannot be at Black Tie.
And that's well said, because I think you said it yourself. Communication is one of the most important things, and I'm sure you preach this to your family too, that I think that in my generation, right, I'm a millennial, and folks underneath millennials too, or younger, I should say, not underneath, younger. Communication is starting to dwindle down a lot. And it's starting to go from a typical communication like what we're doing. This is hard for people to do.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Have you noticed, as we've gotten older, have you noticed the differences in how people communicate?
Man, it's crazy. And part of my job is making sure that, our people know how to communicate in person, right, with other people. But also, and this is a whole other avenue of business, is, how do we communicate with customers the way they now want to be communicated with? And it depends on the generation you come from. And, from the estimate process to the moving experience itself, we are learning at Black Tie Moving how to effectively communicate. Example would be text versus an email or a phone call, a FaceTime video to walk through a home versus an in-person walkthrough. Even the older generation like myself, we're learning to adapt to technology and, not just from a customer experience perspective, but from a getting it right standpoint and staying connected to our customer. We're really, really embracing the artificial intelligence side of business, as well as some of these other platforms.
Well, we're going to take one last quick break. We're going to come back, and then I want to ask about the future, 2025 and above. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Oh, I didn't see you guys there. Hey, if you're enjoying the content that we provide, please consider subscribing to our Heart of the Gulch YouTube show. Hit the subscribe button that's right in front of you, or hit the Heart of the Gulch logo over here in the corner. And of course, like magic, hit the recommended subscribe button that's over here in the banner. We would love to have you guys here at the Heart of the Gulch YouTube channel. And let's get you back onto that interview right now. So where can you expect, Black Tie Moving Co. to go at the end of 2025 or in the beginning of 2026?
We are not done growing. Mm-hmm. And the impact that we hope that we're having in every community, we want to have that in more communities. So the short answer is we're looking to move into new cities.
Is it going to be farther out west, like you said earlier?
It's going to be where the right opportunity presents itself. So coast to coast, we're not knocking down, we're not building barriers anywhere. So if we go into San Diego, for example, and we find the right leadership there that we feel like can continue to bleed this brand that we're so passionate about, we're going to go there. If it's in Miami Beach, we'll do it there. So
it's very fun to think about all the times that, growing anything, whether you're growing a business on your own or going to school and growing students, that you have to be strategic. Now, I'm going to ask you a more personal question that has to do with imposter syndrome. These guys know that I talk about imposter syndrome a lot because I think we wake up some days not feeling the best, not feeling hot. And it's that imposter syndrome saying, are you doing the right thing? Are you in the right position? Are you in the right area of impacting lives? When you go through imposter syndrome, what are some things that go through your mind that people may have told you no, but you're forcing your way through and getting yourself out of this kind of dark cloud?
It's we all go through it, and I think you're asking the way I get through it, right?
Yeah, how's the way you get through it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I just get through it. I'm a faith-based person, so a lot of it's my faith. Number two, I have an amazing wife.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. And she's my boss, and she's my partner in life, and I'm not opposed to calling her and asking her to be a cheerleader. Personally, if I'm by myself and I'm making that drive over to the office, I just try to count my blessings, man. I mean, I think that's something I've always been taught. My mom taught me that when I was young, because I was very hard on myself growing up. It's just, what are the top blessings in my life? How have I reached that? And we know that the man above is how we've all reached it. But if we can do the hard things that we've already done in life, the things that stand in front of us today that feel like they're insurmountable are just, they're not. They're just new steps along the way. And I'm a big quote guy. The guys that work with me, my family, my kids, they know it. A quote that I love is that, maybe the mountain's not meant to be moved because you're meant to climb it. And I think a lot of times when we get that imposter syndrome, it's because we just don't want to climb that mountain. We're wanting it moved. And I think that it's only the most challenging, the darkest, the hardest times in life that define us. It is not the easy times. So
you're absolutely right. And I think me being faith-based too, a lot of times when I think about whenever I get in a slump, right, and I have the time to really reflect, right, I never ask for God to do anything for me. I ask him just show me a path and allow me. I know God has given me the ability to walk down that path. But sometimes the path, like when you're running outside, it may be a lot of wooded area and it's hard to see the path, but you don't ask God to walk for you, right? So, but speaking of talk to me about when's your area in your day to day, where you get to kind of get your Zen moment, get to focus. Is it on your drive to work? Is it on your drive back home? Do you have like a certain thing that you like to do at the house to kind of get your mind right, prepare yourself for all the things that you got moving?
Yes to all those. My drive to work, it takes me about an hour and 30 minutes,
That's
right?
Why I said it's a long time.
It is a haul. But I love it because I listen to podcasts, I listen to discourses, and it gets my head right on the day. It's kind of my inspirational time, is what I would call that. And then my drive home is kind of my cool down time. I have a landmark on my drive home, and it's the famous castle on 840. We've all seen it. No matter what I'm feeling, no matter how tough the day's been, when I hit that castle, my family cannot feel that when I get home. So when that castle and I pass on 840, I leave it behind. I leave it at the castle. And if I want to pick that back up, that stress on the way back in tomorrow morning, sure, grab it. But it's got to be left there before I get to Murfreesboro.
How do you manage stress?
A lot of gym time.
Yeah, me too.
I take it out on the weights, or they take it out on me.
100%.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that a lot of folks that, not saying that, I think everyone should be healthy in their own way. So if you're eating well, congrats. If you're just walking, so you know how proud I am when I see people walk that may be bigger than I, and I just see them walking. Dude, how happy that makes me.
Man, yeah, I'm the same way. And we all have different body types. We all have different goals. And so who are we to judge how people, get their fitness or exercise in? I don't care what you look like. And if you're out there trying, they say if you're emotionally down or you're super stressed, just move, go do something, right? It could be the trail. It could be walking to the kitchen. Just get up and move. And that's kind of my goal.
Man, there's a lot of lingo like move and all kinds of stuff that brings it right back to it. So, going back to imposter syndrome, and I want you to give some advice to the person out there that today may not be feeling hot, maybe having questions on why I'm making music, or maybe saying I want to start this business, but I'm scared to do so, or a person that has to move and relocate across the United States.
Yeah.
What pieces of advices can you give them so it's not as daunting for them?
Well, I'll start personally. If you're in a daunting task or in a dark place, or something's keeping you down, weighing you down, if that ruck is on your back is super heavy, good, man, because that means you're in growth stage. If things feel great, if you don't stress about anything, if things are just seamless for you, you are not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. And so I would say look at it that way. It's perspective, number one. Number two is you have to have great partners, because none of us are successful without a small circle of people that tell us the truth, push us, keep things in perspective, right? And that we can tell them anything, brother, and it's safe. So that those would be my top two. As far as stress moving, just call us at Black Tie Moving, right?
I love that. Now, so obviously we talked about 2025 and the expansion, and hopefully we're able to see more Black Tie Moving trucks across the United States. I hope one day that I see them all the time in Nashville. Yeah. I see you guys all the time. And I'm happy that you guys are continuously staying within the city of Nashville and keep on growing this city, because there's only a few companies that I think of that is truly Nashville, that like bleeds Nashville. Black Tie Moving Co. is definitely one of those companies, man.
This is our family. I mean, Nashville is our family. They're our friends. And we love everything we do here. We love the partners we have here. We're here to stay. I mean, Nashville's home for us.
The way that we tee off this segment of Walk the Line is you look straight into that camera right there. You say your name. You say, we are Black Tie Moving Co. And this is how we walk the line. And then we'll transition that to a little bit behind the scenes. I have a lot of content of you guys already moving things, but if we want to get some more, we definitely can. But do you know how to set it up?
Based on what you just said, yeah.
All right, so after the applause here, in 3.
Hi, this is Ellis Ishee with Black Tie Moving, and this is how we walk the line.
You're filming us mid-install. So this unit was empty, had no furniture in it earlier today. We brought in the rugs, we brought in the furniture. Well, we didn't, but we directed our teams. So we've got Black Tie Moving Company here with us today. We work with a warehouse, but a lot of these moves, because things book out so far in advance, we have to bring in other teams. So today we brought in Black Tie Movers. So this is one of our team members.
Hey, how you doing, man?
And then we've got a couple more team members in here. And right now they're just going above and beyond for us and helping us assemble some furniture. They don't normally do that. But they're making an exception for us today to just make this happen. Like I said, it takes a village, and these guys are amazing.
And talk to me a little bit about the vision for this room here.
So the vision for this room, as well as the whole condo, is, we wanted it. These are world travelers, the people that are moving into this condo, and so we wanted it to feel very European and modern and cozy, similar to what you might find going into a Soho house. Like we have a Soho house in Nashville, they've got them in Paris, and these people have seen high design, so we were just trying to mimic that here. This is not the finished product, but
Got it.
It'll be great when it's finished. So today is the day that we install all the furniture, roll out the rugs, get all the furniture placed. And then tomorrow will be, we're gonna put all the bedding on, and we're gonna steam the bedding, we're gonna hang art, coffee table books down on the table and styling, bringing in flowers and making it very turnkey so that when the client walks in the door, it's completely finished and they